House Leader of Official Opposition.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, first off, I think it's fantastic to hear the Green Party stand in the House here today and express support for flowing some supports to hard-hit small businesses that have been hit with vandalism. I can suggest one thing better, though, than more meetings and engagement, would be to actually call the bill that this side of the House has put on the order paper and call the bill. There's multi-party support. The two parties on this side, the only party that's missing is the government. So let's call the bill and actually get some support flowing for small business. But Mr. Speaker, on a different topic, a week ago, we raised concerns about a chaotic evacuation of RidgeView Place in Langford, where nearly 200 people were displaced from their building. But despite the assurances and announcements from this government, these residents have received little in the way of answers or assistance from this government. Yesterday, Linda and Robert Taylor, an elderly couple, and their son, who has Down syndrome, they had to leave their temporary hotel by 11 o'clock in the morning, and they left with absolutely nowhere to go. The overwhelming stress of the situation actually caused Linda to collapse, and she was subsequently rushed to the hospital. Now, people need immediate assistance, and they're simply not getting it from the minister or from BC Housing. Frankly, it's a disgrace that community organizers are having to resort to GoFundMe in an effort to aid residents who have been displaced. So my question to the Premier is this: when is the Premier going to offer more than empty words and actually step up and do something to help these displaced residents?
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thanks to the member for the question. And certainly, this is an awful situation. We would not want this on anyone, and it's a. My heart goes out to these individuals, these families. I can share with the member that we met with the mayor multiple times, met with his staff multiple times to identify ways we can support them. The member may know we provided up to 5 days of hotel and all other supports that individuals need to support them. The Ministry for Emergency Management has also funded a navigator for individuals to go to get supports, to get access to housing, and certainly if the member has that individual's name, the navigator will be able to help find them the supports that they need, Honourable Speaker. Again, an awful situation. I've been in touch with the mayor multiple times to find ways that we can support these individuals. We've also contacted the Insurance Bureau of Canada to find out about what supports these individuals have when it comes to insurance relief because of the situation that they're in.
House Leader of Official Opposition, supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, if there was ever an example of empty and hollow words that are going to land like a thud with people, it would be what the minister just said. Exactly. These are people that there is no support. They have been, in many cases, have been kicked out of the hotel, which was a very, very temporary solution, only intended to support them for a day or two, and many of them have absolutely nowhere to go. And it's wonderful to hear that the minister has met with, or officials from the ministry have met with the mayor and local officials. Maybe the minister should meet with the residents and actually get this problem solved. No more meetings, no more words, no more hollow announcements. Just solve it. Government's got to do better. We're hearing story after story of people who feel absolutely abandoned. They feel that this government is failing them in this dire situation. Langford resident Lisa Foxall says, and I quote, "We're talking about people's lives." One person spoke about how his mental health is now affected. It took everything for him to get up and speak. He was in tears, and his partner was there having a nervous breakdown. People just can't handle it, and there's nobody there helping them, end quote. Again, people deserve more than just nice but hollow words from this government. They urgently require direct contact and immediate support. So again, what is the Premier going to do today to give these displaced Langford residents the immediate and long-term support that they so desperately need and deserve.
Absolutely.
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and certainly a challenging situation for all these families, for everyone involved. We've again been working. Langford is the lead on this. This was well understood that Langford was leading the situation, but we were there to support them. We have been supporting them. We have a dedicated person that is there to help them navigate any challenges to find housing. But the member knows we are in a housing crisis. We're trying to find housing solutions as best we can. And I should remind the member that we as a province step in, BC Housing steps in to help communities whenever these issues arise. The member for Skeena will tell the members of this House, there was an issue in his community where people were displaced. BC Housing, our ministry, worked around the clock to find solution in the short term, medium term, and now long term. And this happens in community after community, Honourable Speaker. It's not an easy situation. Nobody wants to be in this type of situation, but we have supports on the ground to help people navigate the system. But we fully acknowledge that this will be a challenging time for many individuals and families.